Hello and welcome to FiveWhoFans. Today we are going to be reviewing The Witchfinders. I'm Billy, this is John, that's Dan, and today's guest needs no introduction because they don't exist.
We're that hated.
Oh, they all said no.
They all said no. That's why we're ending the channel. No one wants to be our friends anymore.
Big expose. Who wants to go first to talk about this? I honestly have no idea.
Yeah, it's quite hard to gauge what we thought of that.
Yeah.
More so than any previous episode. I think I enjoyed that. I say that a lot.
Yeah.
I say that. I think I say that practically every week. I think I enjoyed that.
But based on the episodes that you've revisited since saying that, for the most part, what's the success rate of an episode? Do you tend to come back to
about 100%?
Okay.
Yeah. It's very wordy.
Yeah.
This one was the first one where I really noticed the wordiness of some of the scenes. It's just like, oh wow, you're just standing around talking, and also you'll have to comment below. But for us, I felt at any rate when we watched it the first time, it was pretty loud, and you couldn't hear some of the dialogue at the end.
Yeah, I wonder if that was just us, or if it was...
Well, I then watched it again straight away afterwards on the other sound system, and it was a little clearer, so I wonder if it might be like just a slight issue with that.
Yeah, so comment below if you had similar issues, I guess.
The scene at the end when they're on the hill and they're fighting the mud monsters, it keeps cutting to wide shots with great effects and action set pieces happening, and great music, brilliant versions of the Doctor's theme playing, while also they're talking jargon over it.
See, I'd say that one and the scene where the woman started to turn into the devil, and though the other creatures come towards and they're saying something, but I can't hear what they're saying.
And again, it's hard to tell if it was just the mix through that system. Visual effects wise, I thought it was pretty strong. It's really nice to be episode 8 into a series and the effects are still, that's good. And some wonderful moments with the Doctor. Lots of great performances, lots of people taking it seriously and giving the episode its due diligence to a degree. It's Doctor Who, so you amp it up a little bit. And then you have Alan Cumming. Who, I don't know, chewing the scenery is too subtle for what he was doing.
That is an understatement.
Yeah, he was just absolutely tearing reality apart to deliver each line of dialogue, and I loved it. There will be people online right now absolutely bemoaning his performance in that. You can tell, but I think he absolutely smashed it. Over the top, fabulous, and would King James again? Probably not actually, but overall, no. Overall, I think I enjoyed it.
Okay. Daniel?
Yeah. Okay, so I would say we've had, personally, the 2 strongest episodes in a row for me.
Mm-hmm.
I've enjoyed these 2 extremely, but unlike the last one where I was just like so hyped for it, I don't know what I was expecting for this one, and I was really happy. I was really happy with what we got. Maybe reasonably cool creature design. I think Alan Cumming is my favourite guest star this series. I think he was. I was expecting something much more down and serious.
Yes.
And obviously with the subject matter, but I'm glad the way he was, and I wouldn't have it any other way, because I was every time it went away from him, I was just like, can we just go back to Alan Cumming again? Alan Cumming and Ryan. Can we just have those 2? Just for the episode, I think it was great. Again, yeah, the music, I'm loving the fact that Sagan is really doing something different for each episode. It seems like he's properly going to town, whereas Murray's it's a very similar style throughout. Whereas this one felt very different to the last one. It felt very different to the last one. He's really sort of doing something different and making it fit with the scene. And the Doctor is pretty great in this one. I think she's got some great things. Again with King James. I think there's that nice scene where she's sort of tied up. That's a great scene with those two. Again, Ryan and his relationship with James is amazing. Graham with his hat looks great. I love that hat. And then Yaz does some nice things. There's some good scenes, but again, is she the weakest link? Yes.
yes. You don't need to ask it anymore. She just is.
Yeah. There is a nice scene when she's in that sort of barn with the Doctor and someone else, and I thought, oh, maybe we'll do some more.
I was just talking about when she's in school.
Yeah, I think that was reasonably nice, but then it just sort of.
So, Billy's thing before I talk to.
Okay, we'll talk about Yaz in a bit, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'm very undecided. I can't decide whether or not I really enjoyed that. I was looking forward to this since the series began, and I remember thinking it would be amazing to do a witch trial one, considering we had our female Doctor for the first time. It would be a really great thing to kind of address and examine. And actually, I was kind of hoping this would be a finale episode, because I think that would be something a little bit different. So I don't think we've ever had a historical finale. Not one that stayed in the past the whole time.
No.
Not
And I think that would have been suitable. Also, I feel like this could have been a pure historical. I think it could have worked it went in a very different direction to what I was expecting, and I had fun. It was like camp, and obviously you had Alan Cumming being Alan Cumming. Yeah, I'm with you guys completely for the most part, really. I thought the music was great. Like I was noticing it. It was a little bit overbearing in parts, only in the way that it was mixed. Again, not sure if that's our television. But it felt a little bit loud, but the music itself was really nice. Again, every episode has a different feel. I thought the visual effects were very strong. Obviously, I don't have an eye for that. You're the expert for that, John, so I'm glad that you enjoyed it as well.
I loved the king of the whatever.
Yeah.
And his face forming in the mud. It's probably not a particularly hard effect to do, but it was pulled off with aplomb.
I think one of the things that niggled me a little bit was the alien menace. Just that it was, the mud. It's visually interesting, but the race itself is kind of another one of those generic warrior races, and it's like we've seen quite a few of those. It would be maybe a bit more interesting to look at something else, because we've had the Stenza, and we've had obviously lots over the years.
My retort there is what do you mean? What would be the alternative kind of alien bad guy race?
Well, it could be anything, but something that maybe reflected the times.
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Instead of just being warriors.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a neat way of kind of representing like a devil monster in there.
They looked great.
Yeah.
I wouldn't contest that. I wouldn't change that aspect of it.
Yeah.
I just feel like
because I thought for a second that you were saying, oh well, maybe it'd be nice if we had another peaceful alien race. We've had enough of those.
No, nothing like that. I'd still want them to be an antagonist. But
I will say, I'm stealing a point from Phoenix Smith here. He said, I think after episode 2, was that he liked the idea of the Doctor kind of going against straw men, warrior races, because the Doctor is such a pacifist that it's nice to have the Doctor always butting heads with these races, but I suppose it can get. I just don't really think of that one. I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you don't notice it, it's not an issue.
Yeah.
But I suppose for me it would have been quite nice to have something that would reflected the situation. It felt a little bit like the two things were kind of being sort of.
They were slightly separate and they were pushed together.
Yeah.
Thematically.
But I enjoyed it. I think I definitely enjoyed it. I'm just trying to figure out whether I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, okay. You're trying to figure out if it's like an 8 or a 7 type deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of going from place to place, wasn't there? There was a
Yeah.
lot of back and forth.
Back
It
and
felt a
forth.
little bit messy.
There's a bit of that structurally. It's nice that they did when they, the witch hunting, and the scene where they turn on the Doctor was very nicely done.
Yeah.
And it's and all pivots around convincing someone of do you want to go down this route, or do you want to actually succumb to this peer pressure, of the king. Yeah, I like that, and I was worried for a few minutes that they might not take the opportunity to do the Doctor being
A witch, because how could you not do that?
yeah. With the wand especially, it's all there. I tell you what, Agenda Watch.
Okay, yeah.
It's been a while. The bad guy technically was a warrior mud species. Queen.
Oh, yeah, because it was a villainess, so
Yeah.
it's not.
Oh, is it a agenda against the white man? Well, King James though, he was constantly sexist. So.
He was sexist.
And she didn't like being patronised.
Who, the Doctor?
Yeah.
Well, like normal people.
No, yeah, exactly. Women.
How about? Okay.
I'm trying really hard to talk about Doctor Who as if it's this big agenda.
This
But
episode.
it's I can't do it.
No. How about the agenda of making our historical figures gay, maybe, or at the very least bi?
Definitely undertones of that.
Well, I look because so obviously this episode leaked early on Amazon Prime in the US. Well, not obviously. If you didn't know that, then that's news to you. But they fixed it. But people were clicking on Kablam.
Kablam, yes.
Kablam. It was just playing the Witchfinders. The wrong episode got uploaded, and people were saying. So as a result of that, little bits of information trickled out that we don't normally get from this series. And the one thing I started seeing was, there's definitely King James definitely had a thing for Ryan. So I was like, well, I know this information now. I might as well look this up.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know more about King James, and was reading into it, and it covered bits of his history that I scanned on Wikipedia. His dad being murdered, and his mother running away. Originally going to run away with the guy who murdered his dad is the story and everything. And then apparently evidence from last year. It's quite recent to suggest that he was actually had a very open sexuality.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting considering he was very up against like sodomy and
Yeah, I like how transparent it is. It's so obvious.
They really just amped it up.
Yeah.
Because
making King James a figure of fun to an extent, or not even to an extent, to its full extent.
Yeah.
And the situation itself, like, do you think that the show, and this is for both of you actually, do you think that the show could have approached this with a little bit more, maybe not sensitivity, but a bit more seriously?
I think the sensitivity, just because the witch trials happened, many people died because of hysteria.
Thousands of women died.
Thousands of people were murdered because of this hysteria. It's not good, and it's kind of weird to make the person responsible for that be a comedy clown, in a sense.
At the same time, though, that might be quite appropriate.
Yeah.
These people aren't always going to be moustache-twirling, kind of obvious baddies.
Yeah, and he comes off affable and not likable, though. That's the thing, because he constantly, there's little things about him that just make you not like him.
Yeah.
But he's a joy to watch. And I suppose that's the divide between the performer and the actual character.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating take on a historical figure.
I wouldn't have enjoyed that episode if it wasn't Alan Cumming doing The way that he was. I'm just glad. But also, I quite like the idea that they've also created a fictional town with it.
Yes.
So some of the events can be a little bit more skewed. You could obviously the thing happened, but the way that they do it by creating a quite, you know,
it's actually quite neat.
Yeah.
Bit of time travel writing to say we're in this town, no one knows what it is, and then at the end of it have the King of England go, that will be stricken from the map.
Yeah. I thought for a second that the episode was going to end with him killing all the villagers, because there's kind of a sort of a moment of it where it looks like he's thinking about that, and it might be very well be that that's what happens in universe. I don't know. Might be we come back in the finale to go, oh, where have all the villagers gone, King James?
There's one for Big Finish.
I'm glad that we've had a historical episode that's had a little bit more fun.
Actually, I think,
just because Rosa was great.
Yeah.
And
Demons was depressing.
Demons was, and I was a bit more like, so I was sort of with this one, I was like, could it maybe have a little bit more fun with its sort of thing? And I'm so glad it's done the way it's done.
Yeah,
so,
we've kind of had the gamut of historicals.
Yeah, so I'm happy it's gone the way it has. Could have definitely done the serious thing, but I wouldn't have enjoyed that episode as much. I think Alan Cumming sort of steals the show.
Oh, he does.
Because I hadn't known any of the things about Alan Cumming. I had no idea what he was going to be like.
Yeah, no.
So, apart from the bit in the trailer where he's like, get the witch! And I thought, oh, it'll be a little bit, but the way he actually was
from
my
his
goodness.
arrival, he just turns up and starts, it is I.
You can dream my dream.
You can dream.
Yeah, sorry. Well, I mean, we mostly know Alan Cumming for his career-defining performance in Spy Kids.
Yes.
And Spy Kids 3.
Two and
Is he in the second one as
He's
well?
in the second one.
I still remember the scene where he's got like bubble gum on his head. He's like a giant Alan Cumming, and he's got bubble gum on his forehead.
Oh, yes,
That's in
there
the
is.
first one?
There is.
I know Spy Kids.
Everyone knows Spy Kids. Have you watched Spy Kids?
Comment below with your favourite Spy Kids opinion.
And your favourite movie.
Your favourite Spy Kids opinion.
Please, we're looking at options for next year now for FiveWhoFans. So, like, whatever gets the biggest response, you know, we've talked a bit about Scooby-Doo, bit of Spy Kids in there. See what gets see what gets the
traction.
There's some great scenes.
She's got.
I can't stop thinking about that scene with the two of them.
Yes, it was a really nice.
That's a really good.
And I thought halfway through, I was just amazed that I'm actually getting this kind of. Well, because Jodie's just selling it. Jodie takes every scene pretty much 100% seriously and really commits, as doctors always do. And up against Alan Cumming, who is hamming it up.
Yeah.
But their interplay there is actually really wonderful and very well done. And
the scene where she's tied up.
And you think for a moment, I'm glad it didn't happen, but you almost think she's going to convince him there.
Yeah.
And she sows the seeds, obviously, and that's how the story
when they say to bring her back up.
Yeah. But it was a really nicely done moment, which talks about, you know, if you want to experience change and like experience the wonder of and ask questions and stuff, ask questions of the heart. It was really nice.
It's because something you said before about it was a very talky episode, but I was really interested in everything that was said. Like
I was going to say,
I was captivated, even though it was a very wordy episode. There wasn't too much in terms of action and stuff like that, but I was very much sort of engaged. I didn't feel bored much. There were maybe a couple of scenes where I thought it sort of dipped. That was when Alan Cumming wasn't on the scene.
I was going to say that this is something that I usually notice. It's not something that struck me when I was watching it, but maybe
you didn't think it was that wordy.
I usually notice it when it is.
Okay.
Like I thought it was very noticeable in the Ghost Monument. Mm-hmm. Like there are even though there's action there, it's not necessarily balanced out quite as well. I think the boat scene goes on a little bit too long. Okay. But with this, there are maybe one or two moments. I think a lot of this series has been quite wordy.
It's been quite.
It's all been very dialogue
For
heavy.
me, this is the first time really whilst watching it.
Yeah.
I've just kind of been pulled out of it and gone, oh, there's just words.
See, whereas
They're just talking to each other.
I
in the
wonder,
banks.
I wonder if it's like the other way around with me, because I think I'm just kind of starting to get sort of used to it, and I can just immerse without having to think about it too much, because that's just what the show is.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, reminded me of Hex from Alton Towers with the tree.
Yes, it was very Hex.
The ride that nearly killed you.
Yes. Stop!
I was the only one enjoying it. I was saying, like, oh, this is fun, and everyone around me was like, oh.
But yeah, I don't know what that, because of the tree thing, it immediately reminded me.
There's a bit of Hex and.
I like how these reviews, like over the course of the series, we've just stopped talking about Doctor Who.
That's just the channel. So I revisited bits of.
Sorry. Do you want to start again? I've spilled it everywhere.
Wait.
I've got,
I really want to know what John's saying.
sorry, go on.
This is what I'm going to say in the review now. You keep on losing it at these now.
A couple of times we were listening to My Way by the Panpipes earlier. Just remember that.
Can this please make it into the review?
Oh my god, Dan! Don't say that when I'm drinking! He started playing his terrible. He started playing the panpipes!
Not actually playing the Panpipes in the car.
He's just put on panpipe music in his car!
Was that on your iPod?
What's that on your iPod? I didn't know what it was. It was such a question.
It was a panpipe cover of My Way! It just sounded like the person playing it had only just started playing the panpipes! I was like, I'll get that on CD! It was like missing notes!
That's it. Just end the review there.
Oh my god! Oh no,
I'm sorry.
Okay, hold on.
Direction.
Oh no. Alright, I need to calm down. I need to. My face. Right. Sorry, John, what was it you wanted to talk about?
I love it as well. Tonight as well, we're not actually drinking alcohol.
No.
We're just drinking straight up
It's the sugar.
sugar.
Oh no.
Yeah, the one thing, the biggest problem I have, I think, really, is that scene ending on a fade to black. And also, you probably didn't need some of that dialogue in the wide shot. It feels like ADR of the Doctor saying that I've reactivated the prison and stuff like that. You didn't drop that because you can kind of see the visual effects are actually doing quite a good job of telling you.
There's still a bit of telling.
Yeah.
Not showing it again.
And that feels even more kind of odd because it feels like that was put in afterwards.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
It just does feel like there's more of that extra lines are being put in, where it's like we can see, but it also makes the actors look not as good because some of the dialogue
it makes it stilted. I'll talk about dialogue first because I have Asperger's syndrome. I'm down as highly functioning or whatever it is, but it's severe. It says on my sheet. The thing about that is quite a few people with autism and on the spectrum to the Aspergic degree struggle sometimes to read emotions and to read visuals, and the series is a bit hand-holdy, but it actually, as a result, is quite friendly in that regard.
Yeah.
It will help you through, and it's why things like Thomas the Tank Engine are actually
very popular with
autistic children because, especially in the old days when it was just models with static faces and someone saying what that face means, it was pretty useful growing up. Yes, it can become a little frustrating. Like, even for me, it's like, yeah, I get it, but at the same time, it's nice that the show is doing its best to be as inclusive. And I know that's a poisoned word for some reason, but it's nice. I like that, and that's kind of what the show should be doing. Really. Final thoughts?
Yeah, Dan, what would you mark that out of 10?
Okay, I would. A strong episode, very much enjoyed it, but wasn't expecting it. Villains could have been maybe slightly tweaked a little bit in what they are, I think. But
do you mean like thematically?
Just in terms of the thing of we were buried because it was a prison and it was all this. I think it could have just been as easy as a possession, or like you said, it could have just been quite open-ended. Yeah. But apart from that, the Doctor is great. I'm starting to really like her actually more than this series is going along. Ryan's great, Graham's great. Yeah, and some nice bits. And Anne Cummings steals the show. So 8 out of 10.
I think I really liked it. I'm going to give it an 8.
No emojis this week because I want to save editing Billy some time. I started a new job last week, which is why these are probably coming out a little later than they usually would, so I apologise profusely, except I don't because I'm too tired to say sorry. Yeah.
Sorry.
Nothing.
Sorry.
Nothing. That's Martha's mum, by the way. We've been doing that at each other for the last month. Months. Nothing to add that hasn't already been said. I'd give that sort of 7 out of 10. I think it's one of the stronger episodes, but held back a little bit by some structural issues. Join us next week for It Takes You Away. We're going to be reviewing that with a visible guest.
What do you think?
Speak up. Rude.